ये जो चैलेंज है SPF फोरम ने मुझे बड़ा सिखाया है। वो इस तरह है कि हर दफा जब भी कोई जब स्टार्ट करना था, इनिशिएट करना था, तो मुझे ये फील होता था कि यार ये कैसे करना है, यार ये काम तो बड़ा मुश्किल है यार, सबको करना है कॉल करके। तो बस मैंने कहा फिर कोई और ऑप्शन नहीं है, करना है तो बस करना है। तो उसके बाद कोई फिर जब वो एक फॉरम क्रिएट हो गया, व्हाट्सएप पे हो गया, तो व्हाट्सएप से बाहर निकालना है। तो व्हाट्सएप से बाहर निकालने के लिए वो 10 जुलाई को जो है वो हमने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप स्टार्ट किया। स्टार्टिंग के अंदर ही वो कोई, क्योंकि तारुफ का सेशन क्योंकि बात के अंदर हमने रखा हुआ, तो मैं अपना तारुफ भी डिटेल से कराऊंगा। तो वो उसके अंदर उसके बाद जो है वो रिक्रूटमेंट हमने जब स्टार्ट की, तो जितने भी सारे बॉसेस थे, कुलीग थे इधर उधर के, उन सबको जमा कर लिया और उन्होंने कहा कि जी ये व्हाट्सएप से काम नहीं चलेगा। तो 10 जुलाई को व्हाट्सएप का हमने बुनियाद रखी। तो 14 अगस्त का जो दिन था वो करीब था, 1.5 महीने के बाद। तो मुझे ये लगा कि ये राइट टाइम है, इस टाइम के ऊपर आप जो है वो एक कोई पर्पस के साथ एक पाकिस्तान के नाम को इस्तेमाल करते हुए एक इवेंट कर सकते हैं। तो इसके बाद फिर काफी दूर लग रहा था, तो मैंने कहा कि इस वक्त ही एक्शन लेना चाहिए। तो मैं तमहीद जो इस वजह से बांध रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिन साहब को मैं बुलाने लगा हूँ वो अभी रेडी भी नहीं थे, और जो है उनसे मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की, और उनको मैं ये मोटिवेट कर रहा हूँ कि जो प्रेशर जब होता है ना, तो उसके बाद जो है वो फिर आपके पास सिर्फ एक ही ऑप्शन होता है कि आपने एक्शन लेना होता है। तो मैं बड़ी माजरत के साथ और रिक्वेस्ट के साथ बिलाल इफ्तिखार साहब से रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो आए और गजाली साहब के बिलाल साहब के साथ मेरी पहली मुलाकात मुल्तान के अंदर हुई। मैं NPD से ताल्लुक था, मैं वैसे ही RSM जो थे सारे उनके विजिट के ऊपर था मुल्तान के अंदर मैं गया। तो बिलाल साहब वो वाइज है, मैं इनकी तारीफ इनके मुंह पे नहीं कर रहा। तो ये कुछ लोग होते हैं जो पहली मुलाकात के इंस्पायर करते हैं। तो पहली मुलाकात मुल्तान में हुई थी, दूसरी कल मैंने इनके साथ कसूर में जाके मछली खाई है। तो इतनी जबरदस्त मुलाकातें मेरी वैसे किसी और के साथ नहीं हुई। वो उसी ने मुझे इंस्पायर किया कि बिलाल साहब को मौका देना चाहिए, मुझे इंस्पायर करते हैं तो बाकियों को भी इंस्पायर करेंगे।
Thank you, Asif. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. वाकई में जब अभी मैं आ रहा था, I was in a meeting in my office, तो आसिफ का फोन आया। It was about 10 to 11, 10:50, 11 बजे सेशन शुरू होना था और एक रीस्केड्यूल आया कि स्केड्यूल चेंज हो गया, and I saw my name in the list and I sent him कि यार ये कोई टाइपो है, and he said no, it's not typo, it is the actual, so you come and you would deliver. So I said fine, ठीक है, because I have seen lots of sales gurus जहाँ सब बैठे हैं, हमने सब काम किया है। I started my career, just a little introduction कि I started my career in sales throughout 15 years from banking act. I was a city banker. 2 years I worked in Citibank. There were lots of different things. I was working in liabilities, actually not economics. जब हम बैंकिंग कर रहे थे तो समझते थे यार यही सेलिंग है और बड़ा जबरदस्त एनवायरनमेंट है। We are linked with the international bank, और उस वक्त सिटी बैंक पूरी कराची में सिर्फ 2 ब्रांचेज हुआ करती थी, so we were working with the very arrogant bank of the time. उनका अपना एक वर्किंग स्टाइल था, so we thought that now this is the right place. एक दिन we found out the ad in the newspaper, applied for that position. There was a program running in back in 2002 last quarter. The Unilever was hiring lots of things, lots of people. मैं आपसे कहता हूँ कि वो एक खेप हायर की थी जिसमें हम भी आ गए, but we survived and we survived that time together. जिसका भी सजाद साहब जिक्र भी कर रहे थे, 2002 and 3, there was 3 and 4 actually. That was the toughest time. While there were lots of other toughest time in the organization. After that as well, really. Lekin that was also one of the toughest time in the organization, and we lived through that. हमने काफी सारी बातें की अभी तक, organization, people, and stature के बारे में अभी तक हमने सारी। I worked in Unilever for good 13 and a half years. And this April I thought to move forward. And now I am working as a trade commercial manager, territory commercial manager for Coca-Cola. Am I? So right now I work for Coca-Cola. So for past 7 months. It's a good learning because मैं बैंकर था, वहाँ से मैं move हुआ into, I was selling services, then I started selling product. That was Unilever. And now I moved out from Unilever and moved to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, एक unique, this is entirely a unique distribution model or different sales strategy है, because it's a two-way distribution model. हमने आज तक one way सीखी और 13 साल में मैंने different functions में काम किया and I thought that I was the champion working in different diversified roles in Unilever. मैंने CNCD का कोई रोल ऐसा नहीं कि जो नहीं किया, be it custom marketing, be it international modern trade, local modern trade, channels development, hardcore sales, distribution management. So उसके बाद CD में कोई और function रह नहीं गया. And then I thought that this is not it. If I have to, move, I have to learn. I need to move forward. So move forward where? Because every organization is almost selling the same thing. It's a one way. So why not to experience something different and learn different? So I moved into Coca-Cola, and for past 7 years, it's an entirely different shift of culture as well. Because from proper organization to a bottling, it's a shift of culture. So we spoke about the culture in the morning. Since morning, Wasif Saab ne baat ki कि culture systems आप जितने भी develop करें, if you do not have the right culture, if you do not have the right people, if you do not have the right structure, I think it is then the individual or the set of individuals are putting the effort in the wrong place. To me, हमने system structure की बात की, but I think for me it is very important that we talk about the fundamentals. क्योंकि sales के fundamentals सिर्फ दो ही होते हैं, जो मुझे मालूम है, maybe बहुत सारे और, but ये दो बहुत important है, और उसी पे पूरा selling function जो है वो develop है, and that fundamentals is availability and usability. Now you bring in lots of technology in it, put lots of data, energy, effort, people, different skills, mindset. But the core job is make it available and usable. Different functions लोग run करते हैं, लोग कहते हैं कि हम वो rod drive चलाते हैं, let's shelf and shelf project है, end modes हैं, कुछ REDs कहते हैं उसको, कुछ hotspot कहते हैं. So there are lots of ways of doing it. But रात आसिफ से मेरी जब बात हो रही थी, how I convinced him actually for that मछली program, because when I called him, he said कि he thought first, because I was waiting for his message to come back. तो मुझे लग रहा था बहुत लंबा message type कर रहे हैं. And the only line I got is I'm not well. So I was thinking कि इसको ये 1 minute type करने में इतना time क्यों लगा होगा? Then I got the story बाद में क्या था? I said okay, how I crafted the story. I thought to have a fish. It's very famous in Kusur. Or why not you join me? But it's all right, no problem. I'm going anyways. He said okay, I'm in. Pick me. So that is how you engage people. And that is how you craft your own stories. And I made that story right away. And just to meet you there. So it is very important that you craft stories. And where I learned this, I do not have that much of experience like the gurus have, but I also have few learnings, and I always try to implement those in my next role, because I always learn from one role and try to implement that in the next role, and that always helped me. By nature, I was a very passionate person, and at times I could not differentiate between the passion and the ability, because there was a very thin line between them. And trust me, when I started doing this international modern trade stint, I did it for 2 years. There I really got to know that how you need to control your aggression when you're sitting there, coming from a big organization, and he asks you to wait outside and he doesn't even care about it. So that's how I started learning that how to build my story the way that I should be the preferred priority for that customer. That whenever I visit him, he should give me that certain time. He should give me that priority. Because I've seen lots of people, I myself had waited there lots of times. And that also, एक change मेरे अंदर हो गया है, जिसको आप कहते हैं ठहराव आता है. So I also learned from that time कि आप अपने अंदर ठहराव और wisdom कैसे drive कर सकते हैं. So you can be heard properly, and you can be, make yourself important for others. How do you do that? So that was one. And there lots of challenges come into your life, and how do you overcome them? So Pakistan में back in 2007, जब हम ये channel culture लेकर आ रहे थे, channel shift लेकर आ रहे थे. So there was lots of, and Unilever has done lots of, it's pioneer into, bringing lots of new development into the selling function. So there were two challenges actually in that time period. एक तो ये था कि हम अंदर कैसे convince करें internal stakeholders, because there were lots of, we were intruding between the marketing and the activation. समझ ये नहीं आ रहा था कि channel actually करेगा क्या, because we were coming out of that commercial mindset of segmentation, A class, B class, C class. We were moving that thought process from A class, B class to entirely another process, that was the shopper lens. और सब उस वक्त सोचते थे कि ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में, and I've seen lots of in many organizations and in many discussions we do, they still really do not understand a shopper lens क्या चीज़ है. What is so? There were lots of challenges internally first. So we had to craft a story. We went to those countries, learned those things, that how did they do it actually, and brought that back and convinced our people first. It took us about a quarter, and then we rolled out into that process into the market. And there are lots of other organizations that are also following that. So that's how you add value into your society, into your organization, into your people. So people is very important. If you are a leader, if you are a team player, you cannot. And people. Why people is important? Because one day I got a message कि हम ये WhatsApp SPF एक group बनाने जा रहे हैं. Will you be part of that? And I thought, okay, fine. Like many other WhatsApp groups, ये भी एक group होगा, हम देखेंगे. And all of a sudden, इसके अंदर एक energy आनी शुरू हुई. And then people started, coming in. और अब पिछले कुछ time से, I've observed that people actually started referring to each other. Are you part of that too? Because usually when I wake up, मेरे पास तो messages होते हैं 35 to 40 average messages. Now I really use those messages, those stories, those blogs, those videos to, even I'm using them to motivate my team as well. I have another set of group where I operate. So I use that. It's dealing with pride, आप कह लें या कुछ भी कह लें. I use those words, those big things, those videos to to bring more value into the society. So the basic thing I was talking about, the fundamentals. One is availability and usability. But technology is also very important. एक टाइम था जनरेशन गैप होता था 15-20 years we used to say the generation gap was 15-20 years but now the generation gap is left with hardly 7-5 आज 3 साल का बच्चा is using a technology much faster than any one of us so the एक और जो डेवलपमेंट यहाँ से निकल कर आई वो ये कि हमेशा से मेंटोरिंग होती थी कि हम अपने गुरुज की तरफ देखा करते Now the gurus are doing the reverse mentoring. Now they are, if they want to be connected with the world, with the change, with the technology, they are doing the reverse mentoring. And why they are doing the reverse mentoring? Because they still want to learn. They still want to be part of that society. And to be part of that society, because एक टाइम ऐसा आ जाता है कि अब मैं दोबारा से बैठ के वो चीजें वो टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं सीख सकता बट जो कर रहा है मैं उसके साथ मिल जाता so it is always people it is always I need a source I need a shoulder to work with so rightly pointed out by Wasif Saab in the morning and Ali later that we need the right people at the right place and we must have a strategy to drive anything. If you do not have the strategy and the right person, then I think it is always a challenge. And organization actually develops by people, and people are very good. किसी को fire कर देना is the most easiest thing. लेकिन if you coach that person, if you take those people along and change their mindset. People are living in their paradigm. I was living also in a paradigm. I shifted that paradigm. I put challenge on myself. So realizing your self-strength and self-integrity is very important. So I challenged myself and I thought that this is not enough. If I want to grow, I need to have that diversification in my career as well. And for that, I moved out of Unilever. I challenged myself, moved out of my comfort zone. So we need to challenge ourselves in the comfort zone we are actually living in. और जब तक हम challenge नहीं करेंगे, we would not learn because then we need to think differently. We need to come out of that paradigm. We need to shift that mindset. So I do not have lots of stories and lots of experiences though, but these are few things which I always think and I always try to implement for my career development. I also mentor, taking the advices from people from the top and also taking the advices from the young people. Because you always learn from them who are bringing into new perspective, fresh legs, fresh mindset. So for SPF Forum, I'm very hopeful with this forum. Although I belong to Karachi, but living here for a good time here. ये सेशन सिर्फ वहीं हो रहा था और मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि सब कुछ वहीं हो जाएगा. So वो SPF बन जाता. उससे बेहतर है कि ये it's moved out of that. So परसों भी मैं एक मैसेज किसी का शायद I think वासिफ साहब का एक मैसेज था जिस पर I also commented that we should come out of that organizational lens because this is a neutralized forum. We should capitalize this opportunity. We have gurus here, we have young people here, we have mid-tier here. So we need to develop a structure where we have top mid-tier and bottom tier ताकि लोग experience एक दूसरे से learn कर सके. And I'm not saying that आप confidentiality को bypass करें because that's very important. But we need to share the experiences. We need to share, open up, and talk even in person with each other. So there are lots of faces new here today for me. But I feel very proud that I'm part of it. I'm part of this society who's going to build something unique for the organization. Because there are two ways to do something in this. Either you start doing some social work, or खुदा ना खास्ता अगर आप असेंबली में बैठ, दो ही तरीके, असेंबली में हम नहीं बैठ सकते, but we can do lots of things to bring change in our society and those to help each other, learning from dogs, sharing the experiences and bringing those, sharing hands actually, giving them hands and bringing them up. So I wish every one of you and to the SPF very good luck, and I'm very happy to be part of this society, and I will definitely be sharing my thoughts and whatever the experiences I have. I would now actually would search things for to share, because अभी तक मैं honestly ऐसा नहीं कर, I was just stealing it. But I would go and search, try to put more effort and bring that change there. But it is not that we just put data only there. Data is important. It is very, very important. But data we see on the top is very limited. It's kind of it's an iceberg. हमें उसको analyze करके utilize करना is the important thing. There's a big term, big data. So data is available, but the utilization of that data is more. And selling is, it's simple, two ways: visibility, availability. उसको आप कोई नाम दे, it's a transaction, exchange of transaction. You give services, you give products. So with this, I would close it here, and wish a very good success for this forum as well. Thank you very much.